Imagine the sunrise in a European city at the beginning of the 20th century. It's the year 1900, and the fresh morning air brushes against your face as the sun begins to rise behind the brick buildings. Golden light spills over the cobblestone streets, illuminating luxury shop windows and three-story houses that dominate the skyline. In the distance, birds sing, and the bustle of the day begins. Butchers and bakers have already opened their doors, and street vendors push their carts along the sidewalks, surrounded by a sea of pedestrians. But today, something is different. In the distance, a strange sound echoes, a dull, vibrating noise that doesn't belong to horse-drawn carriages or wagons. The roar is powerful, almost mechanical, blending with the creak of wooden wheels and the metallic clatter of fittings. It's the engine of an automobile, the future of human mobility, and it's arriving. It's hard to imagine, but these first vehicles are rough and primitive. They are the size of a carriage, yet their structure is completely different. Metal, wood, and leather combined into a somewhat clumsy, rudimentary mass. Some, like the Benz patent motor wagon or the Peugeot Type 3, are barely faster than horses, but they possess something no one had ever seen before: an engine that works without animals, powered only by gasoline. A true engineering marvel that nevertheless still inspires both skepticism and awe.
If you enjoy content where history comes alive before your eyes, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel Car Revolution. Your support allows us to keep reconstructing these forgotten worlds. Step inside one of these early automobiles in the city of Paris, for example, in the year 1900. Cars are almost like roaring metallic monsters powered by gasoline engines. Drivers dressed in top hats and dark suits grip large wooden steering wheels, eyes scanning the street nervously. Rubber wheels crunch over cobblestones, but the ride is anything but smooth. Every bump jostles passengers against the sides of the body. How could anyone have imagined this would be the revolution of mobility? The cars feel primitive, yet they remain utterly fascinating. Early models were so noisy that inventors added whistles or bells to warn pedestrians, as vehicle speed and agility were still limited. Inside, the car feels chaotic. The seats are made of aged leather, and the wooden dashboard has an imperfect finish. Valves and pipes mix with oil and steam in the engine. The smell of fuel is strong, mingling with factory smoke and the scent of heating metal. How did people feel inside these cars? Most likely, they were still fearful, with the sense they were doing something forbidden, something that defied common sense. Some vehicles didn't even have roofs to protect passengers from wind and rain, so comfort was a luxury that didn't yet exist. Leaving the city and entering the countryside, the scenery changes drastically. There is no commercial noise or city traffic, yet the car continues on, albeit more slowly. The engine hum mingles with the chirping of crickets and the fresh country air. At this stage, cars could only travel short distances, and drivers often needed a guide on foot to help navigate narrow roads or impossible bumps. Imagine that guide running alongside the car to assist or direct it when the engine faltered. Some early vehicles had to stop every few kilometers so drivers could clean spark plugs or adjust the fuel system. City routines begin to shift. The first gasoline stations start to open, though they are unlike the service stations we know today. Did you know that early gas stations were literally grocery stores or pharmacies selling gasoline from barrels? Early drivers became true adventurers, each journey a test of endurance for both vehicle and driver. Cars were not only a means of transportation, but also a way to display status and wealth. Automobiles cost a fortune, accessible only to the wealthy elite. Food and social rituals also began to change. In an upper-class home, automobiles start to arrive more frequently. At first, car owners gather in salons to discuss transportation innovations. Lunch now includes conversations about engines, advancements, and races. Some even hold small competitions on rural roads, generating excitement. At dinners, discussions revolve around early car challenges, fuel shortages, rough road handling, and the sense that something monumental was on the horizon. The transition is slow, but unmistakable. As evening falls, the car parked on the outskirts becomes a gathering point. The first headlights begin illuminating the streets. The night grows quieter, except for the sound of engines that haven't yet learned to shut off smoothly. The future keeps rolling, but the present still smells of horses and wet earth. Past and future intertwine with every engine start, with every wheel turning. How did early drivers know their cars would change the way we see the world? The future was uncertain, yet undeniably present. If you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to subscribe to Car Revolution and share this video with your friends. What other historic moments would you like to see reconstructed? Leave your comments below and continue exploring history with us. And so concludes our journey through the early days of the automobile, a time of discovery, uncertainty, and wonder, where every acceleration was another step toward the future. The arrival of automobiles also changed the way people experienced travel. Journeys that once took hours by horse-drawn carriage could now be completed in a fraction of the time, though not without bumps and jolts. Families began to plan outings differently, and city dwellers could visit countryside estates in ways that had been previously unimaginable. The automobile offered both convenience and a sense of adventure. Early drivers often became amateur mechanics out of necessity. Engine breakdowns were common, and roadside repairs were a daily challenge. Men in top hats would crouch beside their cars, adjusting spark plugs, tinkering with carburetors, and often asking passersby for advice. The act of driving was intertwined with problem solving, creating a bond between man and machine unlike anything seen before. Fashion and social etiquette were influenced by the rise of the automobile as well. Long skirts and flowing coats posed a risk around spinning wheels, so clothing adapted to the new mobility. Gentlemen removed their gloves more frequently to operate cranks and levers, while ladies adjusted their hats to avoid being knocked off by sudden gusts of wind. The car became both a symbol of modernity and a subtle influencer of daily habits. Tourism slowly began to change. People could explore neighboring towns or scenic routes with relative ease. Hotels and inns started to advertise themselves as automobile-friendly, providing parking areas or access roads that could accommodate the new vehicles. Small villages, previously isolated, found themselves part of a larger network as automobile travel gradually knit Europe together in unexpected ways. The soundscape of cities began to transform. Alongside the clip-clop of hooves and the chatter of merchants, the rhythmic hum of engines became a new urban soundtrack. Street musicians, initially curious, sometimes adjusted their performances to compete with or complement the mechanical roar. Life became a mixture of old and new sounds, creating a vivid and sometimes chaotic auditory experience. If you enjoy content where history comes alive before your eyes, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel Car Revolution. Your support allows us to keep reconstructing these forgotten worlds.